This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 13th day of September in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Information released by the head of medical services and cardiology at the Georgetown Hospital, Dr. Mahendra Karpin, has confirmed that the majority of COVID-19 deaths in Guyana are among the unvaccinated. In the two charts released on his Facebook page, Dr. Karpin revealed that in the month of July, 95% of admissions to the COVID intensive care unit and 94% of COVID deaths were persons who were not vaccinated. The charts also revealed that in the same month of July, 3% of fully vaccinated persons and 2% of partially vaccinated persons were admitted to the ICU, while in terms of deaths, 3% of those who were fully vaccinated and 3% of those who were partially vaccinated passed away. In the month of August, which recorded 79 deaths, the head of medical services reported that in the COVID-19 ICU at Liliendal, 81% of the persons who died there were unvaccinated. 16% were partially vaccinated, meaning they had one dose of the vaccine, and 3% were fully vaccinated. In terms of ICU admissions, there was a similar trend, with 81% of unvaccinated persons being admitted to the ICU, while the fully vaccinated numbers stood at 5% and the partially vaccinated numbers stood at 14%. The Ministry of Health continues to encourage persons to get vaccinated, since the vaccine has proven to assist in lessening the symptoms, hospitalizations, and deaths. Dr. Karpin said the numbers do not lie, and the Health Minister, Dr. Frank Anthony, today said the numbers don't lie and persons need to look at the trend and get vaccinated.
We have seen people with just a single dose, they have a chance that they can also get infected and get a severe form of the disease. We haven't seen much of that happening with people who are fully vaccinated or who would have received both doses of the vaccine.
Guyana is currently facing a surge in new COVID-19 cases and deaths, with more than 2,500 new cases and 62 deaths being recorded in the first 13 days of September. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Strap in. You know that it is a fact. The deal on wheels is back. Deal on wheels for security. That's a fact. For fun. Deal on wheels.
Republic Bank Deal on Wheels is back. With same-day approval, reduced equity, longer repayment terms, and more. Plus, 3 lucky winners would win $100,000 each. Get the ride for you at Republic Bank.
Turn up the whole place. This is not that I a smile on everyone's face. Ole! Got the flavor lock. Ole's got it, yes, this is Fran's favorite snack. Ole! Turn up the flavor now. Ole! Turn up the taste, that's good so wow. Ole's got it anyhow. Ole! Turn up the flavor now. Sunshine snacks, Ole! Turn up the flavor.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL.
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
We've got exciting news! All 12 ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Dollar, come get your Buster, Buster $100. Dollar.
GBTI, make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. It became a chaotic scene today as the protests against the government's vaccination policy continued at the Square of the Revolution. And PNC executive member Aubrey Norton and 8 other persons were arrested. In a 2-sentence statement, the Guyana police force said the 9 persons were arrested for illegal possession, adding that they were released on $10,000 bail each as the investigations continue. Norton and the other persons were taken to the Brigdam police station, where they were held for over an hour. Attorney Darren Wade made representation for the arrested persons, explaining to reporters that they should have all been released on self-bail.
Well, I know generally the police generally ask for money bail and so forth, and that we are usually charged and sign a recognizance to appear in court a day or two from today. That's generally expected in these circumstances. Whether or not the charge is going to stick is another issue, because a lot of persons would have been charged for unlawful possession before, and to date I'm not too sure if those any of those charges would have been successful.
Just after his release, the PNC executive member Aubrey Norton said it is clear that the government is now using the police force to instill fear against the persons who have been protesting against the government's vaccination policy. Mr. Norton said he did not lead any illegal procession, and the arrests are meant to intimidate persons who want to protest against the government.
I have always argued that the police use COVID as a tool of repression. In large measure, they started by saying we were in violation of COVID. I said to them, look, I was wearing a mask. There was nobody with me when you claim you want to arrest me. It is when the police proceeded to come to arrest me that some people came around me and they put all in the vehicle.
Norton also said he will be fighting the matter in court, and he hopes the police force comes good with the evidence.
We are going to go to court and fight it, because I was not involved in any illegal possession. The people who they pick up were not involved in any illegal possession. The only thing I show illegal is the government.
The protests against the government's vaccination policy have been ongoing since the policy was introduced weeks ago. However, today there was a larger than normal police presence, and parts of the Square of the Revolution and outside the president's office, which is nearby, were barricaded. The government continues to come under criticism over the vaccination policy, which has resulted in government workers and public servants being locked out of their workplaces for being unvaccinated and failing to produce a negative COVID-19 test result. Now many private businesses have also been forced to follow the government's guidelines and are now requesting persons to present evidence of vaccination or a negative PCR test result before being allowed entry. Let's tell you now that the number of pregnant women contracting coronavirus is on the increase, and the Ministry of Health is encouraging them to take all precautions against the virus. There are more than 125 persons currently hospitalized with the virus across the country, with the majority of those persons being housed at the COVID-19 hospital at Liliendahl. A number of pregnant women are among the hospitalized, according to the health minister.
We currently have 9 maternal cases at the GPHC. Those are in the COVID section of the obstetrics ward at the GPHC. We also have 92 persons at the Ocean View Hospital, and of those 92 we have an additional 6 maternal cases, and we have 29 persons currently in the ICU.
As it relates to vaccinations, the minister announced that 65% of the country's adult population has now received at least 1 dose of the vaccines being offered, and close to 34% are fully vaccinated.
Again, we're still far away from herd immunity here. We have to really move this 33.9% further up.
Almost all of the regions have now seen more than half of their population receiving at least one dose of the vaccines, except for Region 8 with just over 40% and Region 10 with 21% of its population receiving a dose. It was also revealed today that more than 18,000 children have now received the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine, which is being used for children between the ages of 12 and 17 years old. In the courts, close to 2 weeks after GDF Lance Corporal Daniel Fraser and his Barbadian girlfriend Shanique Hodge were both killed in a hail of bullets in the Sophia area, a 23-year-old carpenter was today charged and remanded to jail for the double murder. The accused, Sophia resident Kobe Grant, appeared before Magistrate Russia Liverpool at the Sparendam Magistrates Court and was not required to enter a plea to the two murder charges. It is alleged that on the 1st of September at Ayfield, Sophia, he shot and killed Daniel Hodge and Shanique Fraser in cold blood. Grant was remanded to prison as expected to make his next court appearance on the 30th of this month. The young couple, Daniel Fraser and Shanique Hodge, were heading home on a motorcycle when they were met with a hail of gunfire. Both received multiple shots to their bodies, and they were pronounced dead at a city hospital. The accused was identified by a number of eyewitnesses and later arrested. It is suspected that the shooting death was related to an old incident involving him and the young GDF rank that was shot dead. President Irfan Ali today briefed CARICOM leaders on Venezuela's latest claim to Guyana's territory. The president did the briefing during an emergency meeting of the CARICOM heads of government. Guyana last week rejected a recent accord between the government of Venezuela and that country's opposition, which reaffirmed their support for a claim over Guyana's Essequibo region. The matter is currently before the International Court of Justice, but Venezuela has rejected that court's involvement, although the court has already asserted its jurisdiction. President Ali also intends to update the United Nations and other members of the international community about the latest claim by Venezuela. The president also promised to inform mediators of the talks between Venezuela's government and opposition about that controversial accord, explaining that the countries that arranged the meeting to resolve Venezuela's internal issues should understand that the controversy is anything but internal. The International Court of Justice ruled last December that it has jurisdiction to decide Guyana's case against Venezuela, that the boundary between the two states was fixed way back in 1899. Police investigators in Region 7 are probing the brutal killing of a 34-year-old gold miner from Grove on the east bank of the Demerara. The dead man has been identified as Marlon Carter. His lifeless and mutilated body was discovered on Saturday afternoon on the bank of the river at Quartz Zone Landing in Region 7. The police said the body bore several deadly injuries, including an almost severed ankle, burns to the chest, lacerations to the head, above the left ear, and lacerations to the forehead and left lower arm. The police have identified a suspect who, according to investigators, was involved in a confrontation with the victim, and that led to the murder. The brother of the suspect, who was wanted by the police in a separate case, has since been arrested, while the main suspect in the murder of the miner is on the run. While reminding citizens that the existing COVID-19 regulations and guidelines remain in place, the Guyana Police Force confirmed that there is no total lockdown in place in Guyana. The COVID-19 curfew in the country remains between the hours of 10:30 p.m. and 4 a.m. daily. Persons are being reminded to stay within the confines of their homes during those hours, except for those persons who are exempted from the curfew. The police force's statement last night appears to be in response to COVID-19 guidelines from another country that have been making the rounds on social media here and have been mistaken to be new guidelines for Guyana. Meanwhile, the police force is also reminding that the Guyana COVID-19 measures continue to place restrictions and requirements on social, business, and other activities, with the aim of ensuring social distancing and the wearing of face masks by members of the public. The police force and the government have come under criticism for not enforcing the measures enough, with packed parties and brunches being hosted almost every weekend, even as the country experiences a surge in new cases of the virus. A prisoner who was on remand on a simple larceny charge was stabbed to death at a Lusignan jail on Sunday during a fight with other prisoners over an improvised weapon. According to a police report, 23-year-old Ihad Muhammad Ali was accused by 3 other prisoners of stealing the improvised weapon. Ali was relieved of the weapon and a fight started between him and one of the 3 prisoners. It was during that fight that he was stabbed repeatedly to his abdomen. He was rushed to the Georgetown hospital where he died while being treated. The 3 prisoners who were involved in that confrontation with him have since been separated from the general population and could face charges in relation to the murder.
Hi Guyana, this is Tamika Marshall and I'm here to bring you some need-to-know information on the CDC. So first off, what is the CDC? The CDC, our Civil Defense Commission, is responsible for disaster risk management in Guyana and offers support when affected by floods, droughts, health hazards, now oil spills, etc. It's important to know that disaster risk management extends to every individual, family, community, government, and private sector organizations. I think we can all agree that prevention is better than cure. So what can we all do as individuals to reduce our impact on disasters? Let's look at our most common and frequent hazard, flooding. By law, every individual is responsible for cleaning their drains in front of their homes and parapet. You'll find that improper garbage disposal will result in clogged drainage. So when it rains, there's a flood. Let's do our little part by using trash cans and disposing of our waste properly to reduce and prevent flooding. Want to do even more? Then join the CDC Volunteer Corps. I myself just joined actually. For more information and live updates on the CDC, follow them on Facebook and Instagram and check out their website, cdc.gy.
CDC, here protecting all away from any emergency.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, let's begin in neighboring Trinidad and Tobago, where the Health Minister Terence Dialsing is concerned that the number of students turning up for the Pfizer vaccine has waned in recent weeks. Expressing this during a weekend press conference hosted by the Ministry of Health, he said more adults are taking advantage of the Pfizer vaccine than the children for whom it was initially intended. Children between the ages of 12 to 18 years are eligible to receive the Pfizer vaccine. According to the Health Minister in Trinidad, when this phase of the the vaccination program began on the 18th of August, an average of 3,004 children were vaccinated per day. However, recent figures show this has since fallen to an average of 550 per day. Urging parents to take their children to be vaccinated as the expiry date for the batch of vaccines was fast approaching, the health minister in Trinidad said don't let the numbers lull into the sense of complacency. He said when they look at the results, more adults are taking advantage of the Pfizer vaccine than the children. In Jamaica, the Mu variant of the coronavirus has been detected in the island. The Minister of Health and Wellness in Jamaica, Dr. Christopher Tufton, confirmed the presence of the variant of concern in a tweet on Thursday. According to Tufton, 26 of 90 samples that were tested and received on Thursday confirmed the presence of the Mu variant in Jamaica. It joins the more serious and contagious Delta variant, which has been circulating in the population at least since July, and which is driving a third wave of the pandemic across the island. Last Wednesday, the Minister of Health told journalists that with the confirmation of the Mu variant being detected in the Caribbean, his ministry intended to ramp up its testing for the new strain. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has defended the chaotic U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan as he was grilled by members of the U.S. Congress. The BBC reports that the top U.S. diplomat is facing criticism over the exit, especially over the Americans and allies left behind. Republicans describe the exit as a humiliating loss to the Taliban. Democrats have focused on negotiations that had been set up by Donald Trump. Mr. Blinken is the first official to go before Congress since the exit. The Biden administration in the U.S. has faced widespread criticism at home and abroad over the abrupt manner of the U.S. withdrawal, which led to the unexpected collapse of the Afghan security forces that U.S. troops had trained and funded for years. Taliban militants reclaimed control of the country at a rapid pace, quickly surrounding the capital of Kabul in mid-August. The fall of the capital prompted thousands to converge on the Kabul airport in a desperate attempt to leave. Today's hearing in the capital was a contentious one, as several lawmakers questioned the timeline of the withdrawal that saw U.S. forces leave before civilians. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.